welcome back to another episode of Punchline Pixels. Doing something a little different today. First time mano, just me and you. Just me looking at the camera, doing my own thing. We'll see how this goes. Game Award nominees were announced the other day, so I'm going to go on and look through them all and kind of get my thoughts on all of them and maybe even select which one I think is going to win. It's going to be fun, huh? You guys think that's fun? It's more fun when you're drinking. All right, so pulling it up, the Game Awards. That is an award ceremony that happens once a year. Most people listening probably already know that. Run by Jeff Keighley, the man, the myth, the legend. God, it's crazy. Think back in like the Tech TV days in like G4, like when he was first starting. It's wild to see how far he's come, man. And man, think about like everybody else too, like Adam Sessler, Kevin Pereira. Adam Sessler, what a crash out too, dude. What happened to him? He like came back in the limelight and just fizzled out real quick, man. Same with that hairline. Yikes. But yeah, how about G4 coming back to YouTube, man? Ugh, that was a mess. And honestly, it was just such a strange assortment of content creators that it didn't necessarily like gel well. And also like, you know, that space has been filled already. When G4 and Tech TV first came around, there was nothing like that, especially on cable television. So, you know, ever since then, though, YouTube has taken it, and not even just YouTube at all, Twitch and all these things have taken it and really ran with it and made a better product. And, I mean, G4 is just antiquated at this point. So, R.I.P., baby. All right, so Game Awards, Jeff Keighley, you the man. We're going to our first. So some of these categories I may not know. You know, everything like, say, let's start with the esports ones here. I don't know esports teams, so I'm just going to give you my thoughts and maybe just a random selection then, which is probably the worst way to do this, but let's go. Best esports team. We got Gen G with League of Legends, NRG with Valorant, Team Falcons with Dota 2, Team Liquid PH, Mobile Legends Bang Bang, and Team Vitality, Counter-Strike 2. So again, don't know any of these people. Best of luck to all of them on their participation in this, but I'm going to give it to Team Vitality, Counter-Strike 2, because I played Counter-Strike back in the day, and it was the shit. Probably won't win, though. Let's be realistic. It's probably like Valorant or something. Best esports athlete. We got Brock with Valorant, Chavi with League of Legends, Forsaken with Valorant, Kekaru with Street Fighter, Menard with Street Fighter, and Zaiwu with Counter-Strike 2. So, there's such a demographic out there who loves esports. I wish I was one of them. I wish I found, the problem is I feel like a lot of the games they play, I'm not interested in. Being so narrative and single-player minded, obviously I don't stand a chance with multiplayer, but even the ones that they're choosing, like a fighting game just isn't interesting enough for me to watch, like, competitively like that. I don't know, Smash is pretty interesting, so, I don't know. Having said all of that, I'm going to choose Zaiwu with Counter-Strike 2 because, again, I'm biased and Counter-Strike's the only one that I know well enough. So, good luck, Zaiwu. Best esports game. That's right. Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, League of Legends, Mobile Legends Bang Bang, and Valorant. Oh, man, realistically, it's probably like a Dota 2 or a League of Legends just because of how big they are. Valorant's pretty big too, but my choice would be Counter-Strike 2, of course, but I would say it's probably going to be League of Legends. League of Legends is what else? Give it. Fuck it. Who cares? All right, Content Creator of the Year. All right, we got K-Drill, Kai Sennett. He puts there's a lot of work put into his streams. Moist Critical, damn. Sakura Miku and the Burnt Peanut. Well, Moist Critical is the only one I listen to personally, but I know Kai Sennett puts so much work into his streams, so realistically, I don't know the other three, so I can't say anything really for them, but Kai Sennett will probably take it, but my vote is Moist Critical. My boy. Good luck, whatever winning even means. Most anticipated game. All right, this is a good one here. So, we have 007 First Light. So I don't know if you guys know anything about that, third person kind of cover based shooter, very reminiscent of like the PS2, PS3 James Bond games that were coming out. A lot of people don't know about that. A lot of people, like, it's like their education kind of stops at GoldenEye, and they haven't really played much more past that. But yeah, there was a good run there, and there were good games, man. Unsung heroes, in my opinion. So 007 First Light might, take people by surprise. Most anticipated, definitely not. Also, don't know who the fuck this James Bond is. I think it's like when he's young, but haven't we already done that? Wasn't that what Daniel Craig was, man? Fuck. Some original stories. Even when it's an original story, it's not an original story. All right. Grand Theft Auto 6, obvious winner. No questions asked. That's the one that's going to most anticipated. There's none of these other games even compare to that. Marvel's Wolverine. Looks like a great game. That gameplay looked pretty good. Insomniac's a little controversial right now just in terms of some of the people work there and their social media posts, but hopefully not enough to ruin a game, man. Resident Evil Requiem, for the people who love those Resident Evil games, man, this is probably a good choice. I feel like every one of them that comes out is pretty much bulletproof. People will love those games. So Capcom at the top of their game, man. And The Witcher 4. So CD Projekt, best of luck to them as well. Witcher 3 being as big as it was, I wouldn't be surprised if Witcher 4 was probably the second one on this list, but GTA 6 takes it, no questions asked. Best adaptation. All right, we got the Minecraft movie. Probably going to win because it's Minecraft, and anything Minecraft is bulletproof. Always will be. Man, how long's that fucking game been going on, too? Devil May Cry, heard good things about it. That might actually be my choice. Splinter Cell Deathwatch flopped. Last of Us Season 2 flopped, and Until Dawn flopped. Look at that, all three of those. So it makes it a little easier. So it's between Minecraft movie and Devil May Cry. My choice is Devil May Cry. Minecraft movie takes it. Take that to the bang. Best multiplayer. All right, we got Ark Raiders, Battlefield 6, Elden Ring Night Rain. Kind of performed unfortunate. I think people expected that to do better than it did, and sales wise just didn't match it like you thought it would, especially with an Elden Ring. Usually when an Elden Ring's on this list, it's a shoe-in. So Peak and Split Fiction. So again, this is best multiplayer. It's tough because Split Fiction's multiplayer is so different, with it being like a split screen action as opposed to all the other ones being so online focused. But I don't think it's enough to, I thought it was controversial when It Takes Two took home Game of the Year. So, Split Fiction winning multiplayer is a bit more realistic, but, having played the Battlefield 6 beta, it was good, dude. It was like going back to like the Battlefield 2 days. So as much as I would love to give it to Ark Raiders, that's what I would give it to, is Ark Raiders, because it's the one I'm playing. But Battlefield 6 probably takes it. Best multiplayer, Battlefield 6. Go fuck yourself. Best sports/racing game. All right. So we got EA Sports FC 26. FC now, can't be FIFA. Licensing rights and all that bullshit. So now it is EA Sports FC 26. F1 25, so Formula 1 racing. Mario Kart World, Rematch, and Sonic Racing Crossroads. Typically I would give it to a Mario Kart World. Mario Kart would typically just sweep this, but I feel like the reception to this was a little murky. For it to be I don't know if it was. I think Mario Kart's always going to be a system seller, but it just seemed like it kind of was lackluster to some extent. I feel like some people probably go back and play the old one still. Rematch is that one that was like Rocket League but soccer themed, and obviously heard great things about that Sonic Racing Crossworlds. But realistically, best sports racing, it's probably going to go to EA Sports FC or F1. So I'm going to go. I think it's FC 26. I think that's just the biggest player in this category. All right, best sim strategy. Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles. That's a good one. That's a tough one to beat right there. Jurassic World Evolution 3. I heard they're getting better with each one that comes out. It's different than the movies. The movies just got worse. God, it was fucking turd in the first place, man. Why did they make that franchise come back? Even like Jurassic Park 3 was pushing it, Jurassic Park had this issue, the same thing with Dragon Ball Z, that every time another season of Dragon Ball Z would come out, the boss was always stronger than the previous one. It was always like an example they used. It's the same thing with fucking Jurassic Park, man. Jurassic Park 3 came out as a stronger dinosaur. Now Jurassic Park World's a stronger dinosaur. It's the Dragon Ball Z effect, man. Somebody patent that shit. Sid Meier's Civ 7. I mean, honestly, that's probably a sweep right there for most Civ fans, and nobody would even question that. Tempest Rising. The Alters, and 2 Point Museum. The 2 Point games, I've definitely wanted to get into those, having been like a Sim fan of like Sim Theme Park and The Sims and SimCity, but I just haven't gotten it. I even have them on my computer too, but I just have never dipped my tip into it. So yeah, no, not that. The Alters, I wish I played that. I saw it on Game Pass. It kind of had a mixed reception. So, if I'm going for best sim strategy here, it's Civ 7. I don't think I would say Final Fantasy Tactics for me personally, but it's Civ 7. Best family. Contentious. Who has the best family? All right. Donkey Kong Bonanza, Lego Party, which I believe is like a Mario Party kind of themed Lego game. Lego Voyagers. Man, look at Lego. Coming in hot. Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and Split Fiction. Okay, for best family. It's got to be Nintendo. Nintendo's always going to take it, man, with this shit. So it's either Mario Kart World or Donkey Kong Bonanza. Bonanza looked great, man. From the people who made Odyssey, so if you liked Mario Odyssey, you'd probably love that. Instead of moons, I think you're going for bananas and same things. You have different biomes on different, I think, levels of the Earth as opposed to different planets. So same folks, different strokes. It's like, or maybe different folks, same strokes. Maybe that's the way it should be. I don't know. But, if I was to go best family, I'm going to go Mario Kart World because more people probably bought that than Bonanza. Boom, baby. Best fighting. Another one I don't know a ton about. So we got 2XKO from Riot Games. Oh, that alone. They know how to make a good game. Capcom Fighting Collection 2, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, and Virtua Fighter 5 Revo World Stage. So off the bat, Mortal Kombat's the only one I'm really familiar with the most. Maybe a little Street Fighter, but I don't think a collection should win this. So I take out the Capcom and Mortal Kombat collections. 2XKO, I don't know a lot about it, but with Riot Games being so new into the fighting genre, maybe I shouldn't do that as a purist. I shouldn't choose that. So, it'd have to be Virtua Fighter or Fatal Fury. I'd probably go Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves. That's money in the bank, baby. If you put money on that, hey, let me know if you guys are actually putting money on the ones that win and you get it on my recommendations here. Cut me off a little cheddar. All right, best RPG. Best RPG starts with Avowed. Awesome. Awful choice. Game flopped. Not well received. The visuals were unsettling, to say the least. There's something about that fungus that they created. I don't know, man. The color palette mixed with that fungus on the characters, it just never... Somebody in the design department, wasn't doing their job correctly. So this game shouldn't even be on this. Was there really not 5 good RPGs this year that had to kind of be shoehorned into this? Makes me wonder if it's not bought out, man. You always got to wonder that with award shit or... Anyways, Avowed, bullshit. But moving on. Clear Obscure Expedition 33, that wins it. No questions asked. That's my choice. I don't even need to read the rest, which it's unfortunate because Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is the next choice. And that game is probably the best example of a role-playing game because of how much decision making you can actually make in your character development, like a Larian Studios title. But in terms of like your traditional thoughts of what an RPG is, I think it's Clear Obscure, man. Moving on though, Monster Hunter Wilds. That game came out hot, but just kind of like fizzled out at a certain point, man. And the Outer Worlds 2, look at that, man. Another Obsidian game. Questionably, maybe even shouldn't even be in this running in terms of it not being a great game compared to the others. But you know what? I'll give it to Outer Worlds 2. It was received a little better than Avowed was. But, needless to say, neither of those are even... I don't know. Outer Worlds 2, I'll keep that safe. But Avowed shouldn't be on this list. So out of those 4, Clear Obscure, no question asked. Moving on. Best Action Adventure. So we got Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost of Yotai, Hollow Knight Silksong. Oh, dude, we're getting to the heavy hitters here now. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle and Split Fiction. Man. I love Ghost of Tsushima, so I'm assuming Ghost of Yotai's action is somewhat similar, if not maybe a bit more refined. But Death Stranding 2, and Silksong being what they are. Man, it's tough because action and adventure are technically 2 very different things. So, I might like one's action better, but the adventure on the other one a little bit more. So, I'm probably going to give it to, it's either a Silk Song or Death Stranding 2. I'm going to give this one to Death Stranding 2 because I heard they upped the action in it, and it's more like a Metal Gear Solid game than it is a Stranding game. Haven't played it myself, but I think that's the one I'll choose. Best action game. All right, here we go. So these are the juicy ones right here. These are the juicy plums. All right, so best action game. We got Battlefield 6, Doom, The Dark Ages, Hades, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance. So, hey, first things first, Shinobi Art of Vengeance, I'm sure it's a great game. Probably shouldn't be in the contention for top 5 action games. Looks great, but I don't know, it's just hard, man. It's hard, so I probably wouldn't count that. Ninja Gaiden 4, a very niche demographic playing that, but you know what? It probably is more common to have people playing a Gaiden game nowadays because of the Souls games, kind of normalizing difficulty like that. So, because these games are difficult. So, I bet you it's a far more popular game than it used to be. Hades 2 obviously is just Hades, but better. So, Doom the Dark Ages, I played through it. This does not deserve Best Action Game of the Year. That game was paltry, man. It was super disappointing and neutered, and Eternal's way better, man. Honestly, it's the worst of those three. So, and Battlefield 6, of course. It's got to be, for me personally, between Battlefield 6 and Hades 2. It's probably going to be Battlefield 6, though. The action in that game. See, that's why action adventure and action. Maybe that's why I call it action adventure, because it's an adventure with action, and these are just straight up action. Whatever. Who gives a shit? Battlefield 6 is my guess. That's my choice. So best VR AR. There we got Alien Rogue Incursion, Arcane Age, dope. Ghost Town, Deadpool VR, and The Midnight Walk. So heard good things about the Deadpool one, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's up there. Marvel just kind of does what Marvel does when it comes to entertainment properties. They're just master classes of it. I haven't heard of this Ghost Town game, but Alien Rogue Incursion. See, my vote would be Arcane Age because it's the only one I played. Great game, too. Great VR fantasy kind of adventure. Yeah, that's just my choice. Fucking Arcane Age. Take it home, baby. Come on, win one for Papa. I'll put some big fat stacks on that one. Best mobile game. My favorite. All right, we got Destiny Rising. Man, I've heard some mixed things about that. And you think, what the fuck's going on with Bungie, dude? What's going on with Destiny? Why are they? It's like ever since that Sony acquisition, all they've done is drop the ball on all this fucking development, man. And then Marathon goes and they destroy it with the character designs, and then they get the plagiarism suit, man. This company's about to close. What a fall from grace, dude. One of the best that were in it for the longest time, man, with the Halo games. And me and my buddy Matt, shout out to Matt. I know you better be listening. We're currently playing through all the Halo games, and man, we're up to like Halo 5 and Infinite now, but there's a definitive line of where Halo Reach and Halo 4 meet, and the quality is just so different. I mean, what a fucking hard game to follow up, dude. Halo Reach was that's the best Bungie made Halo, in my opinion. That and 3, obviously, but Halo Reach was just the top of their game, man. It doesn't get better, and 343 couldn't follow it up, and they have yet, for me personally, to prove that they can even handle that IP. Infinite isn't bad. I'm in the middle of playing it now. It plays like an open world Halo game, so exactly what you'd expect it to be. But it's like if it did too much different, I'd bitch about it. But if it doesn't do enough different, I still bitch about it. So maybe they can't win, man. Anyways, Destiny Rising, best mobile game. Destiny Rising, Persona 5, The Phantom X, Sonic Rumble, Umamusumi, Pretty Derby. Sounds like something right up my alley. And Wuthering Waves. So look, if I'm going to go look at these 5, Wuthering Waves is the one that takes it. I think that's the one that wins. It's the only one I hear about all the time. Best debut indie game. So we got The Blue Prince. Heard great things about it, man. Clair Obscur, Expedition 33. Despelote. And it's basically you're a child growing up in Ecuador following soccer. That's the idea behind that one. Very unique visual style. And Dispatch. So look, there's only 4 in this indie category here, and it's because the 5th withdrew their name because they didn't consider themselves an indie dev. It was Megabonk, and he said because he had developed a game before this, it didn't count, which isn't even, it's very noble of him, but it's not even correct because the Clair Obscur people come from Ubisoft, so they've all developed games before. Maybe not under that moniker, and maybe that's what his contention is that it's not under his moniker, but I think it was a different studio that he developed it under, so I don't think he should have done it. It is what it is. We have 4 for this category. He may have won. I don't know. I've watched some gameplay of it. It's not my kind of game, but fuck, people are playing it a shit ton. So best debut indie game, I'm probably going to give it to Dispatch. Deserves it for doing something so different, but it's Clair Obscur. Clair Obscur is going to sweep this awards this year, I believe personally. Best independent game. I'm not sure the difference between those two. For outstanding creative and technical achievement in the game mode outside the traditional publisher system. So again, okay, so Absalom, Ball Pit, man, I don't know, that's hot shit right now too, Ball X Pit, so that might win it. Blueprints, Clair Obscur. See, Clair Obscur, the problem with this is I believe they have a publisher. It's not them. I thought you had to be self-published to be an indie. No, maybe someone can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but yeah, so I mean, I'll still count them in this, and if I count them, they'll probably win anyways. But anyways, Clair Obscur, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silksong. Honestly, with those 6, I give it to Silksong. I think Silksong's gonna win something at the award shows. With the army that was behind Hollow Knight in the first place, and waiting 6 or 7 years for this next one, I think the logical choice for one of these wins is Silksong, and it's a great game on top of it, and improves upon the original. Best community support. Recognize a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates. Okay, so we got Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, yeah, No Man's Sky. Okay, so, if I wanted to choose one, God, I don't know. I would have said Helldivers 2 because I love it so much, but besides a continuing story, I don't know, the caves and the Hive Lord thing, that was pretty cool. That was pretty big for them to add that. And the Illuminate in general. So great support there. But man, it's like when you look at a game like No Man's Sky, who does it better than that? Or Fortnite. I mean, Fortnite's always updating their shit. So listen, honestly, I'd love to choose Helldivers, but I think I'm choosing No Man's Sky. God, didn't Baldur's Gate release missions though? I don't know. I mean, and Final Fantasy 14 transformed that game when the update started coming out. So, my choice is decently irrelevant because I think Fortnite wins it. So I'm going to just say No Man's Sky. Go fuck yourself. All right, best ongoing. Wait, isn't that what we just did? Awarded to the game for outstanding development of ongoing content. It's basically the same shit, I think, but obviously there's enough of it's like the same fucking games except Marvel Rivals is in there. And honestly, best ongoing. I mean, I want to pick Fortnite again, but I bet you Marvel Rivals wins this. There we go. Marvel Rivals for best ongoing. Games for impact. For a thought-provoking game with pro-social meaning or message. Can't stand this shit personally. It's so irrelevant in games. So, but I'll still get my comments and critiques on it. Consume Me, Despelote, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, South of Midnight, and Wander Stop. I'm going to give it to South of Midnight because it is a game I considered playing for a while there because it was free on Game Pass. I didn't end up doing it because it reviewed pretty poorly, but it was a unique art style, man, and I like that kind of Southern Bayou vibe. Not a lot of games do that, and I feel like it was kind of leaning into the folklore of it too, so it's super unique just in that. I should give it a shot just because of that, but, let me just, I'm not opposed to social meaning and messaging. I'm just not personally interested in my video games. Pure and simple. They're more than welcome to make these things, but they just got to know, I'm not the demographic. I'm not going to buy it, especially just for that reasoning alone. So I don't care. As much as I don't care about awards, I really don't care about these kind of awards because it feels like a participation thing. You got it just because you are you. You know what I mean? Fucking boring, dude. Innovation and accessibility. So this one's cooler because I believe this is by an even wider audience. Yeah, this is when they make those controllers for people with disabilities, I believe. So I worked in the disability community for a handful of years, so I knew some of them who loved gaming, and how hard would that be, dude, if you loved gaming but you couldn't hold the controller to operate the game? This fucking sucks, dude. So cool and good on them for doing it. I support this. This is a really cool category. So Assassin's Creed Shadows, Ubisoft's really been good at that. If I'll lambast them all the time, but they're good at putting innovation in their games or accessibility options. Atomfall, Doom the Dark Ages, EA Sports, FC26, and South of Midnight. See, I don't know because I didn't play any of these I didn't play these games for their accessibility options. So honestly, it's probably going to be EA Sports FC 26 because of the number of people playing it. Pure and simple. Pure and simple. It's a numbers game, baby. That's what games have become. Okay, best performances. Damn. I bet you Clear Obscure's half of them. Let's see. Ben Starr, Clear Obscure. Charlie Cox, Clear Obscure. Erika Ishii, Gosi Yotai. Jennifer English, Clear Obscure. Kanatsu Katu, Silent Hill F. And Troy Baker, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Dude, Troy Baker was great in that. He sounded just like Harrison. He sounded more like Harrison Ford than Harrison Ford does anymore, man. God, he's such a fucking bad actor, dude. I can't. He's like unwatchable for me anymore. Even old Harrison Ford wasn't great. I think he's an overrated actor, personally. For that time period, I'm sure. I don't know. I'm not gonna go on about this. Troy Baker is Indiana Jones. He sounded great. So, but I mean, if I'm gonna go voice actor, I mean, who's more engaging? It's gonna be Ben Starr, Charlie Cox, or Jennifer English in Clear Obscure. Charlie Cox, I believe, is Gustav. But man, without talking spoilers or anything, I feel like Ben Starr has a bigger part of it, but I haven't heard him on it. But he was great in Final Fantasy 16. I'm going to get up to Charlie Cox because I'm that far so far. You see, dude, Expedition 33, I don't know if you haven't played it yet, play it. It's got everything I'm looking for in a game. It's got an original narrative. It's got good dialogue writing. It's got great world design. It's got good character design. It's got emotional input in its writing. And it's original, man. Like there's nothing else like it. And yeah, it's a turn-based system, but maybe a turn-based system is a little fucking refreshing right now with all the action RPGs that we have right now. Maybe we do need to kind of have somebody offering that now that Square has kind of moved on from that. Well, you might see their hand forced a little bit after this, but all right, best audio design. We got Battlefield 6, Clear Obscure, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotai, and Silent Hill F. Now listen, that Battlefield 6 beta, that sound was stellar, man. I mean, I was playing with headphones, so that definitely helps with the sound experience. Clear Obscure, though, I don't know about its sound. Its music's great, and I'm sure that's another category, but I don't know about its sound necessarily being the thing that I would tout it so highly about. Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotai. If Ghost of Yotai is anything like Ghost of Tsushima, the sound design was great in that game too. Silent Hill F, I'm boycotting Konami, so I won't personally choose that. So, having not played Death Stranding 2, but having played Battlefield 6 and Clear Obscure, I'm giving it to Battlefield 6, and it's because it's got like that, realistic sounds where like I can be like, oh, that's a bullet pinging or that's a barrel firing. Where Clear Obscure is so in a different world, there's nothing for me to compare and contrast with as much, and that's a dumb reasoning, but like I guess Battlefield 6 sound design or audio design was more visceral to me due to the relatability. Not that I'm in war, but you fucking know what I mean. Best score and music. So we got Christopher Larkin for Hollow Knight Silksong, Darren Korb with Hades 2, Laureen Testard with Clair Obscure, Toma Otawa with Ghost of Yotai, and Woodkid and Ludwig Vorsell with Death Stranding 2. Death Stranding's music is really great. But I'm going to give it to Laureen Testard with Clair Obscure because I'm pretty sure it was like a Reddit post like, hey, we're making a game, and if you want to do the music, and he reached out to him that way, like super low key, super great introduction, and then he just knocks it out of the park, man. It makes a great soundtrack. So newcomer too to the game. I mean, maybe they had done stuff before, but very impressive. So that's my choice. Clair Obscure sweeping the awards just like we said they would. Best art direction for outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. So, okay, best art direction: Clair Obscure, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotai, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silksong. It's tough with Hades 2 and Hollow Knight Silksong because they're 2D games. So it's like I have to judge them on almost like a different. There should be like a best. That's tough. Best 2D art direction, best 3D art direction. But maybe we're getting too fine point there. Maybe take out that. Never mind. I'm not going to keep going on that. Okay, so I would probably stick with the 3D realm here. Clair Obscure, Death Stranding 2 would probably be my two choices. Ghost of Yotai is super stylized. I give it to Clair Obscure because all of those biomes are so vastly different. And Death Stranding 2, I wouldn't be surprised if Death Stranding wins this. Death Stranding probably takes best art direction. Clair Obscure is my choice. Thrilling stuff, I know. Thrills a minute. Best narrative. Clair Obscure, Expedition 33, that's my choice. No questions asked. It's like one of the best parts about the game. Death Stranding 2 on the beach, I'm sure it's a great story, man. But, you know, in terms of cohesion and clarity, there are probably people doing that a little better than Kojima. And it's not to say like his disclarity isn't intentional. I believe it is, but for the average consumer, or for honestly even for discerning consumers, Clair Obscur is just more digestible, I suppose. Ghost of Yotai, actually heard that narrative was somewhat what's the term I'm looking for? Standard. A revenge tale. So probably not its strong suit, is not its narrative. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, tough one because I've heard such good things about that. And then Silent Hill F, again, I'm not choosing Konami personally, but I'm sure it's a great story. Silent Hills are legend. Silent Hill 2, man, legendary, great story right there, man. So Clair Obscur or Death Stranding 2, I think it's Clair Obscur, and I actually think that's what they choose too. So Clair Obscur, best narrative. It's like its best part. Best game direction. Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. So something different with the game design itself. Clair Obscur is turn-based and active time battle. Death Stranding 2 is very unique. I mean, they did their own thing with Death Stranding. Ghost of Yotai, I wouldn't give it to that because it's the same thing as Ghost of Tsushima. Hades 2, same thing as Hades as well. And Split Fiction. Split Fiction is super original with its game direction. You know, that's what deserves to win it, I believe, is Split Fiction. But I bet it goes to Death Stranding 2. That's my guess. I would choose Split Fiction, though. And Death Stranding 2 takes it. Game of the year. This is fucking it, man. Okay, so Game of the year. Let's see. Our list is Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. That's a tough one, man. That's a great spread right there. Now, I'll go out and say it. I don't think Donkey Kong Bonanza takes Game of the Year. I don't think Hades 2 takes Game of the Year. I don't think Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 gets Game of the Year. So we're looking at Clair Obscur, Death Stranding 2, and Hollow Knight Silksong. Kind of looked at that. Most of these categories were those three. So not surprising that these three are the ones kind of contending for Game of the Year. So I know it's so fucking predictable, but it's Clair Obscur, man. Clair Obscur takes Game of the Year. And you can take that to the bank. Put money on it, man. I'm telling you. And that's all of them. Hold on. Let me go back and just make sure I got them all. Yeah, that's all of them, baby. So that is the Game Awards 2025 Punchline Pixels predictions for who wins right there. So if you enjoyed this kind of content, let me know. Just kind of me riffing by myself here. And yeah, we'll just kind of, tune in. I think this is 20 days from now. So, I think it's mid-December that the Game Awards happen. And we'll just go from there and see how close I was to any of these. Good selections this year. I expected more bullshit to kind of be interwoven into that, but I think it was good. Nice job, Jeff Keighley and team, because I feel like those were all games that deserved to be in the categories they were, despite a few exceptions like Avowed. That should have never fucking been anywhere near the RPG class. Were there really not 5 good RPGs that came out this year? Fuck, man, I would have given it to like a Triangle Strategy or like a fucking Bravely Default one. It's just it's weird that, wow, that's wild. So anyways, that's my thoughts on it. Chime in the comments too and let me know what is your thoughts on Game of the Year. Remember, Clair Obscur, Death Stranding 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Let me know what you think with the winner. Don't tell me all the categories. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. Let me know what you think Game of the Year will be, and let me know what you thought of this episode. Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and see you next time on the next one. Peace.